Welcome everyone to this week's Blockchain Monday, talking about revolutionizing the crowd working market and how we can do that with the Web3 technology. And before we jump into it, I want to quickly highlight a few things about Aachen Blockchain Club, because we are currently the host of today's evening, and we are the blockchain-focused student initiative at the RWTH Aachen. We bring together students who are passionate about blockchain and make them thrive in this ecosystem. And we do that by going, for example, to hackathons, inviting guest speakers, but also, organizing ecosystem calls where we get the community together in person in Aachen. And we try to really foster the local blockchain community in Aachen as well as in NRW. So we have three goals: fostering a community of blockchain students. Then we're also trying to establish partnerships and connections with industry leaders. And last but not least, as the RWTH is one of the biggest research facilities in Germany, we always try to promote the scientific development of blockchain at our university here. Some of the previous events, we have Frankfurt Business School coming on. We had workshops with Chainlink. And here you can see our patron, our Professor Pillar. He's the guy in the middle. He's the patron of our club. And if that sounds interesting, feel free to scan the QR code and give us a follow. But now, without further ado, I want to introduce Oliver from humanindata. Oliver studied in TU Darmstadt, so not too far from Aachen, and has since then gone on to not only found humanindata, but also found different startups all over the Web3 space. And I think we can really be happy to have him on today, because I think he's the best expert to ask about how we can revolutionize certain markets within the Web3, or like with the Web3 technology.
Thank you, Lorenz. Thank you. I think we're quite a small round today. I think there's as well the Web3 Summit in Berlin that I'm not providing today any special things. My name is Oliver. So I have a couple of hats on. On the one side, as you already mentioned, right now we're looking to add the AI revolution into a trustful and reliable data source activity. And I will show you what this actually means. I'm coming from the digital identity space, where we're on the one side working on self-sovereign identity as one of the OGs in this space since 2016. What will come into operations within the next 2 years, it will not be that much dependent on blockchain, but the technology itself with DITs and verifiable credential will still be up and running. So this is what I'm doing with Blockchain Helix. And then I'm on the chair of the Blockchain Association Germany, where we're mainly working with politicians, we're working with experts, we're doing certain papers, and we're operating there in order to bring a more trustful and a good solution for companies that actually want to move into the sphere as well. And the fourth thing that I'm doing, I'm the chair and tech lead, so to say, from the European Public Network. What is a layer one solution that's fully based on EVM? We're using this for humanindata as well, for any kind of certification based on soul-bound tokens with NFTs. But this is a solution that is really interesting, whoever wants to look into, because we're right now doing mainly, this is something that we're doing. We're doing the tokens, for instance, for the new euro, what is called commercial bank money token, CBMT. This is something that nearly every German bank is right now on its way into it. So we're operating here the infrastructure as a layer one. We're operating here as the token. And of course, we're doing additional things there. But now I want to show you mainly what we're doing with humanindata. Okay, so I want to give you a brief overview, first of all, what this actually means. And if we have enough time, then I'm always the one who shows demos live. If you're moving into the AI world, what is really a revolution in its own, you see that there are right now certain gaps that we find on the main core issues that we have right now worldwide. And this is the trustfulness of data. What we have right now, and if you look into specifics, for instance, what X.AI is doing, or what happens with certain brands where they got stuck with hallucinations and everything, you have to provide trustful data as such. And that's where, for instance, the EU AI Act comes into play, saying that if you want to move into it, you need high quality data for AI. And those has to be trained by trusted humans. Yeah, just to give you an idea of what this means, I'll show it later on, but this is the critical AI data crisis. Yeah, so the financial loss of profit is about $2.6 trillion at the moment. There are about 60% wasted resources because certain information simply is so bad that you cannot do anything, and it's unrecoverable damaged reputation because there are biases, misinformation, and this really brings brands into risk penalties. That's what it actually is now. And that's why we provide AI-driven companies with the one thing that they all need, right? And because there are already solutions out there in the market, for instance, what is called Amazon Mechanical Turk, that brings, I mean, they say they bring humans, but this is very much bot-driven, and the humans that are operating there are not verified at all. And this brings a huge amount of problems because your data that you're trying to, first of all, generate and then annotate and then getting any kind of additional part here is simply not valuable. So what we're doing reduces costs about 20%. The quality of data output is about 30%, and it saves time like over 40%. And this is really important, right? And what this means when you want to look into next generation AI data training can only work with verified workers, right? And this is where what we're doing with humanindata. On humanindata, if you are a company, you can claim and you can operate saying that I need data, I have data, but those have to be annotated. And then the workers that are working worldwide, we call them data workers, all of them are fully verified. And then we have the ability to have standard data workers, and we have knowledge workers and experts. We can claim them to have special outcomes or work that is only doable for a specific brand. And this is why we're coming with 3 different pillars here. Just to give you a first overview about this. So every worker is always fully verified. So we give every worker with our app, they can just download it. I can show it to you later on. Every one of them has a full verified digital identity, and they can get any kind of certificates built into it. They can be certificates that comes from our learning journeys. You can get certificates from your own university, and those are they cannot be they cannot be claimed other than who you are. So that's why we're using here verifiable credential on the one side. We're coming from the identity standards, but right now we are operating here as well with soul-bound tokens. And this is not only just by showing something, but we're using this for access and reputation oracles, so that only those that have a certain certificate can claim certain jobs, right? So you have a full digital identity, and this digital identity is worldwide. So we can verify every worker worldwide. We're operating right now with 4 different verification providers, depending on where you sit and what's your actual outcome. Then you have the job activation platform. I can show it to you in a moment. And then you have a job execution so that you can directly on the app or on the desktop, depends on the job type, you can directly earn from day one with what is called typically this micro jobs, but they can be even bigger jobs. And then, and this is mainly the most important thing here, we have an instant payment that's fully built in. So how do you want to pay somebody if you, I don't know, a German brand that is giving work for a global workforce? How can you pay them? I mean, we're talking here about, for instance, people from Bangladesh, people from Africa, people from Pakistan, but even there are about 2 million people in Germany that are working on this field. So how can you pay them? It's not possible. So that's why we have a full Web3 wallet built in. It's a multi-chain and multi-wallet approach here. And we're using our own token so that we can give every worker worldwide the ability to directly be paid for the work that you have done, so that you can then off-ramp them, or you want to earn them and work with them as whatever solution. There's a full Web3 D-app solutions in there, whatever you want to do, right? But it's important that this is a payment rail, call it like this, right? So because otherwise you cannot work with it. What you have right now in the world is there are certain companies. There's one from Russia, there's one from Africa, there's one from the US. They have valuations more than, for instance, somebody like Scale, a valuation of more than $7 billion. But the people that are working for them, they claim that they got not paid. And the way how they're paid is very unfair as well, right? And so that's why we are enhancing this AI with human intelligence. And then we have these mainly 3 different main topics. There are others as well, but if you're in this AI world, you might know them. One is this, we call them verified human in the loop, but the official name is human in the loop. This is really important so that you can train your system. It's always a combination of your machine learning part, but if the machine learning gives an accuracy of the data, for instance, something like in between 0.4 to 0.6, this is a typical accuracy, you cannot work with them at all for a brand. Normally, what you need to get is 0.9 to 0.95. This is the accuracy that you need. And this is only possible if you're integrating human in the loops. And this is something that people do not understand right now. I mean, if you're just using ChatGPT for your own private purpose, doesn't matter, who cares? But if you're working for a brand and you're giving data from this brand to people like third parties, it's really, really important that you get a good accuracy. So human in the loop. The second one is a reinforced learning with human feedback. This is something as well, if you look at from the life cycle of data, so that if there is something that is not working as expected, you can always train it again, and then this typical hallucination part is minimized as such, because this reinforced learning gives those data that are fully trained and proved, gives another accuracy. And the third thing, and this is one of the very important part right now as well, is this red teaming. I don't know if you ever worked in this field, some of you that are looking here, but you always, as a brand, if you want to provide data, you always have to create a red team in order, before you deploy your solutions, it has to be really heavily trained by a red team. And this is something that you're doing in front of the deployment and then later on over the whole life cycle, because you need to understand before others are claiming that your data is complete bullshit. It's better if others from your red team is giving you the information and then you're optimizing it, right? So, and that's why, and important is we're doing this very, very fair for our workers. So that's why if you as a company is claiming that you have a job, we're giving 80% of this budget that is an escrow, it's fully on Web3. So everything that we're doing is very, very much on Web3. 80% of this escrow is getting directly distributed to the workers, of course, if they're creating the jobs. All the money from is then provided to certain shares, and of course we need to provide something as well because we have a lot of additional work. But about 80% is going to the workers, and this is something that normal solutions from other parties, they normally give something in between 40 to 60% to the workers, and they're very unfair with the payouts. And this is why I think this is a really important part what we're doing here. And the market itself, I mean, it's huge. Yeah, it's really huge. So and this market, just to give you an idea about what we're talking here, the World Bank just did some analytics about it. There are about 154 to 435 million data workers worldwide. I mean, this is a huge amount. It's 12% of the global labor force, right? And if you think about getting all those workers, and maybe they're only 7 million, I don't care. If you're bringing them into Web3 with something like humanindata, this will be about the biggest Web3 solution if you combine it or if you want to compare it to other Web3 solutions. So this is about one of the biggest solutions here. Working, for instance, with the guys from Human Foundation, they just just testing it, they provide their own solution for workers. And this is only for testing. Right now, they had over 200 million jobs per month, right? And just by testing it, they already have 750,000 workers just by trying it out. And the AI adoption, when it comes to the companies, there will be next to every company in the North America and Latin America that will go into the AI world with anything that you need. As a company, you can decide. If you say that I don't want to have anything to do with AI, I guess you will have a problem in the next 3 years because it's far, far more expensive if you count this out. And it's simply accelerating your typical business needs much more. So it's really important. So that's why this market will be very, very, very big. So, and what are we doing? I mean, we're right now offering a demo, we're presentation. We're doing sales and marketing. We're right now, for instance, part of the Telecom Tech Boost program. We're doing, of course, like today, we're showcasing everything. And right now we're mainly bringing this into production, right? So the next week, we'll bring the public beta out. If you want to be part of it, you can join the waitlist. And there will be as well, it's not an airdrop. We do not like airdrops if they're just stupid. But we will give people that are coming in as a first mover into this waitlist, we give them a very good outcome when it comes to our tokens and everything. So if you want to be part of it, go for it. And we want to have about 7 million users until 2026. Maybe we're getting faster. I don't know. I can't tell. Yeah. And the market is very important because the exponential growth in the AI industry is about 110 billion by 2024. Exponential growth is huge right now, but there's a huge risk right now. So becoming mainly stricter data privacy. And of course, we have a huge problem with biases and fairness in AI error. That's mainly the thing that's really working very, very bad. Yeah. Just to give an idea what our competitors are, if you want to look into, for instance, Scale, the latest one of those, they have a valuation right now. They just got an investment over 1 billion. The valuation of them is 7 billion. And they have a desktop version and they have a job launcher for companies. Of course, they're providing their own LLM right now. You can think about what you want. But this is, for instance, we did some testings and we believe that we have a better solution than this, to be honest. Yeah. So our team mainly consists of people from the Web3 space. And then we have a couple of advisors and so on, right? So that's what we're doing. Let's build a tomorrow together that we can really trust.
Thank you for the presentation. I think personally, I already have a few questions. Yeah, I guess I have one question. Sorry, Ali, I will take you next. Proof of humanity, right? I guess that's a term used by WorldCoin, by then you have Gitcoin passports. They're all trying to verify that you are just a single user and not signing up with 20 different Ethereum addresses. How exactly are you solving it? Because I guess you are also in some way making sure that there are only real humans signing up. Are you using one of the solutions that already exist, or are you like building your own proof of human system?
So, I mean, we're sometimes in touch with the guys from WorldCoin, and I do not want to, yeah, I do not want to claim anything against them. So they're doing their own thing. But to be really honest, proof of humanity is not enough. Yeah. We're not giving private data towards companies. We can only do it like this because we're using a full digital identity. I just mentioned that I can just showcase this. We can directly start with it, to be honest. So every user that is going through it and they want to do jobs that simply needs to be fully bot free and everything, they just go through a very short verification process. We're doing what is called KYC. We're doing this with, oops, my solution just crashed. That's nice. So we're doing this with a couple of different verification providers. And let me share my screen again. Just that you see something. Here we go. So that, for instance, that this is mine. I mean, yeah, I don't want to share my. This is some, for instance, my passport or my ID card, and we can use this for anything that you want, right? And the important part here is if a company wants to create a new job, saying that I want, for instance, to test certain things, what do you need? You need to understand this is bot free. You need to understand, for instance, that somebody is coming from a certain location. You need to understand how old is this person. You need to understand if this person has special capabilities, if it's certificates or whatever. All those different things are important here. So a proof of humanity doesn't bring this at all. The only thing that you get from proof of humanity is a one-time proof that you're human. Yeah. But to be honest, I mean, there are so many problems already that people from the WorldCoin community, they just get a bit of basic income and then sell their identity or their proof of humanity part to somebody else. That's what's happening, sorry to say. And we cannot do this. We're very, very much going into a legal part here because we're dealing with real companies and not bullshit, to be honest. Does this answer your question?
Yeah, definitely.
So for instance, here my certificates, I have, this is an NFT certificate here that you're getting from one of our learning journeys here with a lot of different things. You cannot fool them. Yeah. I think somebody else had a question as well.
I had a question. So for the legal documents, that's where you had your ID card, right?
Yes.
Who approves and verifies this? Is it from the government? And if it is it on a centralized database or not?
So we're right now in 2024. Yeah. So in 2024, what we're using here, we have right now 4 different verification partners that are doing a verification check that you can go through within, it takes something like 30 seconds. And we're doing this, what is called a self-sovereign identity approach, so that you are getting a so-called decentralized identity that is fully bound to your own management, to your own control. Yeah. So whatever you want to do, you own them. And then you have what is called a verifiable credential. So we're not storing any personal information on the blockchain. Not a single personal information is stored on the blockchain. You have those information on your solution here, and then you can do whatever you like. This is a self-sovereign identity. So right now, this is coming from private verification partners. In the future, there will be governments as well that will claim certain things. We're right now, for instance, in discussion with somebody from South America. They have, for instance, solutions that is coming from the government. As long as those solutions do not bring any kind of trouble into the people, we can use them. But we're looking very, very strongly into privacy, and we're looking very strongly into that everybody of those workers, they always know who is trying to get certain information from their side. Yeah. Does it? Yeah. Sorry.
Yes, it does. But I wanted to go a step further. So
Sure.
what your solution provides right now is jobs to AI enthusiasts who want to work in the industry, and it provides an SSID, which then centralized companies that you work with, the 4 that you mentioned, then verify, correct?
No. So what we're doing is that we have a desktop solution, for instance, this on the right-hand side. So somebody from a company is going into it. Let me check it here. So they're saying that it's companies that they're not that much into Web3. So that's why we're doing a lot of things with typical Web3, Web2 solutions, so that they pay with whatever, if it's Stripe or whatever, credit card. And then they just create a job. Right? Can be any kind of job, depends on audio recording, see that's on annotation, face AI training, whatever. I can show to you what it looks like to the worker. But those data, they can claim what they need. The company can say they need somebody that, of course, is always verified. That need somebody that is coming from, I don't know, maybe from Germany. They need somebody that is whatever, male or female, is within a certain age part, is certified and fully approved to be a legal student, or he's a fully agnostic person, or he's a medical guy. Whatever is necessary, you have to think about basic data workers, knowledge workers with certain certificates. Then you have domain experts, so that they have, for instance, certain other proofs. And then you have those that are already have legal components for some kind of branch related things. And then you have as well data science, so that they prove whatever they have, if it's some GitLab stuff or GitHub stuff, what kind of data science things they have been doing in the past. But it depends on, and we're not giving any kind of data beforehand to the companies. Yeah. But this is what verifiable credential and zero knowledge proof comes into play. The company is 100% assured that all those information is always secured from our end. Does this explain it a bit for you?
Yes. So the company sees that this is a person that has this gender, that has this attributes, and that's all they see.
Yes, they they don't see it that much. They just know that it is like this because this is everything we're doing this fully with certain stamps that we know which wallet is, so to say, then directly approved to it, and that we understand that certain things are within a particular questionnaire before. That depends on what the worker on the one side wants and what the company wants. But we're fully, I mean, this is a pseudonymous system, but we're not giving any personal data beforehand. Yeah, and you have to understand each of those works. This is not a solution for Fiverr or Upwork or something, so that you're creating a job and this job is just done by one person. We're talking here about jobs that is normally done by 100 person or 1,000 person or 50 person, but never one person for one job normally. Yeah, so that we're getting here as well statistical and reputation oracle views, recording oracles that we're using, so that we prove with a couple of different parts. Some of them are game theory, some of them statistical, some of them are based on quality assurance, so that we know that the jobs on the work that those different people, these data workers were doing, that they are reasonable. You know, this is really important. Otherwise, you just get bullshit in, bullshit out. You know?
Another question. How do you make sure that the system is fair, that everyone gets a job, everyone has a chance to participate?
Yeah, I mean, it is like this. I mean, we're giving this as a free solution here, so everybody can directly get into a job grader. This is the solution for the data workers. So the part for the business side is called humanindata, right? So because this has humanindata, they want to be, all those data has to be approved by humans. This is really important. This is one of the most important part right now. Yeah, and the other part for the data workers, the solution is called job grader. Everybody can download it. Everybody can directly move into it, and then you can look into this is the job part here. So you can see what kind of jobs there is right now. There are certain things regarding social media tasks as well. So we can do, for instance, certain things with Discord, with Telegram, and so on. And we can add those solutions as well for any kind of Web3 company. And then you can look for any kind of job. For instance, here's a video labeling job. You can see, okay, what kind of active jobs there are right now. My solution is not so good at the moment. Yeah, so here are, for instance, different jobs, right? So I can do, for instance, a face AI training is something that I'm just doing right now to showcase something. So you see, as a worker, what kind of outcome do I get? Yeah, 6 THXC. So it's the thanks coin from our side. This was our solution that will be start very soon. What kind of work is estimated, any kind of information. And then you have, of course, some things like how-tos. And then I can directly start. And then it depends on what you're actually doing here. So what I'm showing you here is you see that I'm doing something. My face is analyzed what I'm doing. What you're not seeing, I can make you a short part here so that you see it. Oops, let me take this. So you see face confidence about 100%. If I'm 98% male, my age is like this. What is my sentiment? Where am I looking to? And this can be used for any kind of solution, right? So we can use this for game testing. So right now we created a solution, for instance, for Unity, so that the worker underneath it, they're doing certain game actions, and we're not giving any information beforehand. We're just giving information about the game. What was the user doing there? That's the only thing. There's no private information that's coming out of it. And then, of course, we have other solutions like prompt testing. There can be something like intelligent document processing, right? This is something, or A/B prompt testing, or any kind of red teaming. So whatever is in there, when we're not judging somebody who wants to be part of it so that they are not able to start this job. You can do whatever you like, but of course the solution, what does the company want? And of course we will create our own data set as well, so that we're giving a huge amount of data beforehand. This sort of doing. Is this answering your question?
Yes. Thank you.
And then with A/B prompt testing, for instance, you're getting a certain amount of tokens with it. Then there's this is, for instance, the solution. So there's a prompt. In this case, there's an expected generated outcome, and then we have different. In this case, it's a reverse prompt engineering part on the one side with the prompt version A, and the other one prompt version B. This is from Gemini, and then which one is better? You can just prove it, and then you see the next one, and then you do this one, and then in this case we just do it very shortly here for demonstration. Then the prompt testing is already done, and this is something that we're doing with a huge amount of different solutions in there. Or intelligent document processing is an important one as well for companies right now. If you want to provide cars, for instance, for leasing, and then you got your typical scanned-in documents, and there are certain things that you're not really up if this is correct or not. These information is putting into certain targets, and then those are given to this amount of workers, and then they can look for, is this correct? This one is correct. For instance, this is not correct, maybe. I give this another part here. If it's correct or not, doesn't matter for now here. And then you can just go through those different information here. This is, for instance, whatever comes out of here. You see that this one, for instance, definitely wrong. It's something like 11.7T, I would say. You see, but you know what I mean, yeah? So this is really important for companies, because what they have as a problem, this is intelligent document processing. So there is machine learning directly included into it, but if the accuracy is not big enough, then you will directly, this is why it's called human in the loop, it will directly get into our system, for instance, with API calls, and then the workers can directly get into it. And there are, of course, other jobs, and you can do certifications directly. And the interesting part is, I'm just showing it directly. Is this fine for you, Lorenz?
Definitely, yeah. I think it's really cool to see.
So there's a full Web3 wallet built into it, right? So you see what kind of earnings you already have with our tokens. But on the other side, I mean, this is like MetaMask, but it's far easier to use. So these are two different wallets. It looks like typical bank cards, but if you look into it, you can directly see what kind of cryptos you already have within this wallet. These are our own tokens, and then you can add any kind of tokens as well to it. You can buy, send, receive, swap. You can off-ramp it, and you can add even wallets that are coming from other solutions, if you like, just to look into, to display it. We have a couple of other dApps built into it. Say that you want to maybe use these tokens for something else. If it's like something like 1inch, connect your wallet directly. So it's a full Web3 wallet with everything, but it's far easier to use as MetaMask, because we're right now really talking about people that are moving into the Web3 space, and they're moving into it from certain regions. You can add any kind of NFTs into it. So for instance, as I mentioned before, let's see if it comes Gnosis. This is with Gnosis chain. So it takes a bit longer. Gnosis chain is sometimes a bit slow. This is a soulbound token that we're storing there. And one thing that is quite nice as well, if we, for instance, using content moderation. So there's a solution here, and the only thing that you have to do with the job grader solution is just go for the scan. Yeah, get into this one. Then which one of those wallets do you want to use? In this case, I'm using this one. Connecting it, and now you see, okay, I mean, if it's a content moderation, you need to sign that you're over 18. I'm just signing it. And then I have full access so that I can directly start moving into this this content moderation. This is really important, and you can directly see the request history as well. So they say that you know what happened. This is really important. No, I think you know what I mean, right? And this can be done with everything. If there's a solution from a third party that wants to add these data workers as well into it, they might need to know if somebody has a special soulbound token or if somebody is coming from a special region, whatever. And the only thing that we're doing here, and this is something that we built on our own with the guys from Wallet Connect, so that we can directly use any kind of identity verification systems. So Wallet Connect never gets any kind of data. The company never gets any kind of information, but the user always has to prove that he's, for instance, over 18. And then we can use any kind of computer vision stuff. And those are a lot of different parts, saying that if you want to prove certain nudity, or if you want to add certain things like movement of hands, anything that has to do with health, doesn't really matter. You can add anything to it. Yeah, we're adding, for instance, audio labeling is something that we did, but even something very easy like price guessing. That's something it looks very easy, but it's really important for companies. So for instance, this one here is like, yeah, if I'm giving this information, this is about 120, and this information as well that is in there are fully done with AI systems as well, saying that, okay, I believe that it is like this. This, for instance, might be directly okay. This is too low. So as a worker, I can give certain additional information. It's a bit like market research. So any kind of job can be integrated into it. I think that gives you an overview about what it means. Yeah, and what we did as well to make it very, very easy for those data workers, so they cannot lose their private keys anymore. We're doing a huge amount of backup solutions so that we can use their Google Drive as well as iCloud solutions, and we're using yeah, in this case, a lot of encryption patterns, because this user has a full identity, so that we can always combine them as such. The identity itself is as well using a solution that is not only regarding just one wallet, but so that the user do not even has to have any kind of gas or something. This is yeah, typical solution. Now it's called 4337 or ERC 4337. We're using this since quite a long time, but it's about the same thing. Yeah. But I think you know what it means and why this is so important, because we're talking here about a huge amount of people that has to provide data for AI training worldwide for solutions that can be LLMs, can be companies, that can be small businesses, but that can be as well Web3 solutions that want to provide content moderation for or anything that you see right now with Galaxy. Those things can be done with JobGrader as well. Is anything else that you want to see or that I should showcase?
I think the showcase was really cool to see. Thanks for showing that. I have a question. So, I mean, there must, or you already had a few competitors, right? Like maybe they didn't use Web3, but what makes this job grader, which incorporates Web3, so much better? Is it like reaching people, making it easier with the payments, offering more people, like giving out more of the cash that's actually being like passed on to the labeler or whatever it might be? Well, where do you see like the biggest benefit?
It's a combination. First of all, we see it as a open community, so that everybody who wants to work with us, first of all, have their own possibilities working in it on a long-term basis. Of course, we have to secure that people that want to act serious and trustful, that they are not having problems with users that want to steal money or something. That's why we have recording oracles and we have reputation oracles, so that if somebody doing bullshit stuff, this is not paid out, right? On the other side, one of the main component of it is that we're talking here about a global workforce. Yeah, we're not talking about a workforce that, for instance, I don't know, others trying to compete with. We're talking about a global workforce, and you need to understand that people from Africa, for instance, they're highly qualified nowadays. So they're looking for global work. Some of them cannot directly move into Germany or something, but they need to get these work capabilities. So how do you want to pay somebody who is, I don't know, in Burkina Faso or somewhere, or in Bangladesh, wherever? How do you want to pay somebody with a budget that maybe is like, I don't know, five euro or something, or $2? It's simply not possible. Everybody is losing so much money from the worker side. This is where typical bank transfer things simply doesn't work at all worldwide. So you need to work with a token. You really need to work with a token. And we're the only solution that is doing this. Yeah. Our partners from the Human Foundation is doing certain other things as well. So they're doing certain things as well. But we're mainly focusing with humanindata on this market for this global crowd working community, or we call them data workers. So that's really important. And on the other side, of course, the token has more function than only payment rails. So we're using, of course, loyalty programs. We're using a connection with our verification partners. We're using certain things with any kind of voting capabilities. We're using anything that somebody wants to add certain tokens if they want to get into a different program. This is possible as well. We're using certain game theory stuff. This is where Web3 comes from and what's really important. Yeah. But it's an open ecosystem as well, and that's why it's really important to use such a token. We're very, very focusing on EVM because we see that from our side, this is a market that has a huge amount of different chains. We're right now talking with nearly every chain that is in this market right now. Of course, what we need is very, very high scalability, very, very low transaction costs. And of course, it has to be very, very stable. So that's why we're looking a lot to which is the perfect partner. And they are, of course, very interested in working with us because this is, I believe this will be one of the biggest Web3 solution for the next years.
Nice. Yeah, I like how you can leverage like all of these benefits that Web3 brings, like easier payments and like alignment behind tokens and so on. One more question. So I guess if I'm a company and want to label something or some data to be worked on by humans, how easy is it for me to get on the platform? Is it like is the goal to be permissionless, so like everyone can just offer jobs? How does that work?
First of all, it would be nice if companies can directly use Web3, but it's not like this. So typical companies, they're just using it based on a typical Web2 or a typical traditional way how to move into it. So no company needs to have tokens, no company needs to provide wallets and so on. this is something that we can directly work on I call it a white glove solution. If you want to talk about this, company can use their own S3 bucket. They can use their own data set. They can use their own solutions. If it's cloud based or if it's on premise, doesn't really matter. We are not owning data from their side, but we have to give certain capabilities so that workers can judge certain information, of course. But this is a solution that next to every company is anyhow working since years. This is something that is directly possible from day one. Yeah, and then it depends on what the company wants. It's a huge bunch of different data jobs that you can think about. Yeah, you need video, you need audio, you need text. You can no longer use your YouTube videos just to get into an LLM. It's no longer possible. You have already prompts, and those prompts has to be checked. You need any kind of market activities, whatever you need. And these are these typical data worker jobs, and this is a huge amount of jobs that comes out of it. Yeah, but we're not educating companies.
Okay,
this is not possible. It's absolutely not possible. If they like, they can do. We don't care. But it's a freedom of choice. It's a freedom of choice for everybody.
Nice. Yeah, I guess having all of these wallets and blah, and I guess that scares a lot of companies. Okay.
I think somebody raised a hand or something.
Okay, then let's take the last question.
Do the companies have to pay upfront? Yes.
Absolutely, because and this is something. Of course, if the work is not delivered as they need, they get money back. But of course, what we're doing here, this is something we're doing everything. Those escrow contracts, everything's fully on Web3. And those escrow contracts, of course, we're not doing certain things that is not working for the workers. So we're always looking and we're bringing freedom and right for the data workers worldwide. Yeah, that's really important. Yeah, and right now we're just doing a small investment round from the equity side with the guys from Tokenize It. We're right now looking for if somebody wants to invest into us, yeah, just to promote it, and we will bring out our token as well on an exchange very soon. Then, and there will be a private token here, but only private one first. Somebody who has interest into it, just come to us. And waitlist is super interesting as well. If you want to try it out, just give us a call. Go for the website humanindata.com and then sign up for the waitlist.
Another question. How does that work with the tax system and minimum wage?
Yeah. So we have a list for all minimum wage globally, and there are certain jobs that are mainly focusing on particular locations. Yeah. So of course, for instance, I haven't showed them, but we have, for instance, jobs for captures. Yeah, those jobs does not give a minimum wage for German workers, for instance, right? If they want to do it, they have to claim that everything is on their own dependency. This has to do with typical legal rights on the tax side. But we're mainly focusing very strongly on minimum wage as well. And this is something that is important. If a company wants to add certain jobs, there is a, so to say, a calculation of how much time would be necessary in order to work on a specific job. This can then be calculated. What does this mean regarding the hourly rate? And is this possible? And if not, then it is not possible to add this to the German market that well. And on the other side, of course, every company has to comply to tax rules.
Thank you. And one more question. Sorry,
Yeah, sure.
How does the how does this work with countries that are like exceptional? For example, Argentina and Turkey have very high inflation. Venezuela, Russia, and Iran are sanctioned. Um, how does this work? And like, for example, uh, some countries like China have restrictions for internet access. How does this work?
Yeah. So there are different legal conditions, call it like this, for what is called crowd workers, right? And this is something that is fairly neutral globally. Yeah. So even in China, there's a huge amount of crowd workers that are working in this field. But of course, other countries sometimes have lower legal possibilities or tax possibilities. And then it depends on, I mean, we, as we anyhow giving everybody the need to verify themselves, we have the ability to target people from certain regions mainly, or we have to exclude certain regions because of certain certain parameters. Call it like this. The company that claims what kind of worker has to work on their end can define where this worker can be situated or where they cannot be situated. This can be done fully by the company itself. And then it depends on how it looks like. For instance, because you mentioned Turkey or Argentina, there's absolutely no problem at all. Because what are we doing here? The worker is getting the token. And whatever they do with it, first of all, if there's a high inflation on a certain region, whatever they're doing here, if they want, they can transfer it as well to USDCs if they like. That has nothing to do with us, because we're mainly giving each of those workers a full Web3 wallet so that they are fully financial independent, even if they have no bank account at all. This is fully possible. So this is something that is very, very much focusing on the data workers. Yeah. Yeah. And if you think about the global politics, this is anyhow a moving target that whatever you want to do right now, it will always change over time. Whatever it is. Yeah, we cannot say. But for this one moment, if the company wants a job that is distributed to specific the data workers, the company can claim which one of them should work with it. The only way you can do it.
Thank you.
Okay, awesome. So I think there's no questions here anymore. So I would say big thank you, Oliver, for coming on today. One final question is, if anybody wants to reach out to you, what is the best way to reach you if they have any follow-up questions?
I mean, first of all, best is of course to sign up to our newsletter. Yeah, so it's on humanindata.com. Of course, LinkedIn is something where we're quite active. We will start certain other social media activities very soon, yeah, because it's Web3 world. But the easiest part is to directly target us on LinkedIn. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, then thanks a lot, Oliver, for coming on today. I think we all learned a bunch about this data workforce and how it can be revolutionized with Web3. I think it's nice to always have like an actual real world use case, because I think blockchain struggles a bit getting past that boundary and having a real good for the society. So it's great to see you, Oliver, tackling this problem. And yeah,
Yeah.
thanks so
I
much.
love that you're saying it like this, because otherwise I would have said it as well, because it's real world, you know. Everything else, there's so many Web3 companies out there that claim that they're doing AI stuff, and not to claim somebody, but I really love real world examples, you know. That's the only thing that is important. Thanks a lot, Lawrence.
Hey, I think there's a lot of, yeah, but Yeah. Okay. Then thanks everyone for coming on. And yeah, see you guys in probably 2 weeks on our Solana ecosystem call, which will be in person on the 3rd of September. Great. Until then, good luck with you guys' exams. Bye, guys.
You guys.